Well, hello there, fellow peasants. Today I'm going to be talking about the Netflix show. It came out back in September, I think. It's called Devil in Ohio. It stars the chick from the Bones television show. And so basically what this show is about is it's like an 8-episode series about this girl who escapes from the satanic cult in Ohio. And she is taken in by this psychiatrist. She lives with the family. She starts living with the psychiatrist and her husband and her kids. And the cult wants her back because they need her for a sacrifice to the devil or whatever. And so that's roughly the gist of the show. So I'm going to tell you what I liked about the show, and then I'm going to go into what I didn't like about the show. What I liked about the show was I liked the cinematography was really good. It was shot very well. I really enjoyed that. I'm not sure if it was done in 4K or not. I can't remember, but the imagery is really nice in the show. The acting is done really well. I was entertained all the way throughout the show. I never got bored with the show, really. It was interesting all the way through, so it's good at holding your attention. I'll give it that. So far it looks good. It held my attention for all 8 episodes. I didn't feel like it dragged, really. I also like the idea itself of the girl escaping from the cult and trying to live in a modern society with a normal family who isn't balls deep into a cult, and trying to find her way through life doing that. And they're trying to become more accustomed to her cult behavior and what triggers her and stuff like that. So yeah, I like that. What else did I like about the show? I guess I like some of the character development. I like some people have nice character arcs in this. They start out one way and end another way by the end. So I enjoyed that. What I didn't like about the show, I live in Ohio, and I can kind of tell that this show was probably most likely not shot in Ohio. I haven't looked to see online where it was actually filmed, but some of the locations I'm just like, that's not Ohio. It looks like this was shot more maybe in the middle of the country, maybe Colorado, Montana. I don't know. It doesn't look like, because out west, the trees and the woods, the vegetation is more overgrowth. It's older, and here in Ohio, we had the glaciers out this way, and so the glaciers, when they came through, destroyed a lot of things, and so a lot of the growth in this area in Appalachia and all that is newer vegetation than further out west, because those weren't necessarily damaged by the glaciers. So those are old growth forests. Here, our stuff is a little more thicker and just smaller and nastier and shitty looking, to be honest. It's uglier here than it is in places out west, because our stuff is still kind of growing and recuperating from the glacier damage. Anyway, so I didn't really think it was really shot in Ohio. I don't know, my biggest issue with the show is actually just using Ohio in general. I understand the book. There was a book called Devil in Ohio that the show's about. And I don't know what's in the book. I don't know. They might go into more detail in the book, maybe saying what this is based off, because I guess this is based off some sort of cult, real life cult thing that happened in Ohio. I mean, I don't know of any story like this, but I could be wrong. They could have just taken a story and, I don't know, made a bunch of shit up. But what I'm saying is, for the show, I can't speak on the book, but for the show, there was no reason that they needed to call it Devil in Ohio and base it even off that book. There's nothing about it that's Ohio. They could have never even said what state it was in. And the show would have been pretty much the same. Now, sometimes they show like an Ohio State mug, or the kids are talking to each other like, "Oh, I'm applying for Ohio State and all this," and so you get some of that. And there's some jokes about like Mirror Lake, and they mention Cleveland. But yeah, it's just kind of like, I don't know. It just seems like it didn't need to be set in Ohio, the show. You know what I mean? And then, I think Bones, the woman or the character that Bones is, or whatever, from the show Bones, that the main character who takes in the cult girl, she's a moron. I mean, like, I understand helping her out at work, because that's your job, that's your place. Your job is to help people that are abused and stuff like that. But to bring the girl into your house when she, escaped from a satanic cult, usually cults want people back. You know what I mean? Like, they don't just let motherfuckers, like, run away and they don't come find them. So, like, you're kind of, like, not inviting them, but you're just kind of like, yeah, well, I mean, I guess I don't know how you think you can just take in someone who ran away from a massive satanic cult and don't think they're going to come knocking at the door and try to get her back and do some harm to you and your family. It's just fucking stupid. And so, and the girl is just by her existence, just by her being there, she's like a pain in the ass. She's kind of like making things awkward for the girls, for the psychiatrist's daughters. The cult ends up burning down the house. Her husband is he's a contractor, and he built this home, and he's already having trouble selling it. And then the cult is like, "Oh yeah, you got our cult chick, you got our girl, our daughter, or whatever." Well, they burn that house down, and he's trying to sell. And so all this drama comes onto the family because she brought her home and just won't let her go to some other foster place. Like, she just keeps her there and keeps her around. And the girl starts taking the daughter's friends and boyfriends, and you don't know the whole time, like, excuse me. You don't know, like, the whole time, like, to feel bad for the girl, or like, shit, something's up with her. Like, does she have like motives other than like wanting to, because she's like, she has some weird satanic altar at the house, and she's like, "Oh, don't worry, this is just me praying because I want to stay here with you guys," and all this. I don't know. And so that kind of gets annoying because at some point reality has to kick in. Like, okay, you got to go. You're not my kid. There's people writing satanic symbols on the back of my car and my door of my house. Someone's burned the house down we're trying to sell. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta go. You're not our kid. And so that got annoying. And then the worst part of the show, I mean, Jesus Christ, the worst part of the show is it ends with the parents eventually separating because the dad's like, understandably, look, bitch, if you don't get rid of the kid, you know what I mean? She's not our kid. If you don't get rid of her, I'm done. I'm leaving. Like, she's ruining our life. She's ruining our family. This is insanity. She's part of a cult, And it ends with them being separated, living in different homes. And Bones, the psychiatrist, is still living with the girl by herself and celebrating Thanksgiving with the satanic cult girl by herself, while her husband and daughters are at a model apartment, They're living in a model apartment somewhere, having Thanksgiving. And this the stupidity. I mean, like the Bones character, at one point she goes off by herself with no cops involved, and goes to the satanic farm to get the girl back from the Satanists before they sacrifice her and try to save her. But you find out at the end that the girl wasn't taken back by the cult. She purposely went back to the cult just to see if the psychiatrist lady would come save her or something. It was nuts. So what a shame. What a shame this show was. It was entertaining, it was good, but with a premise like that, you're setting it in the Midwest here. You got satanic cult, girl escapes. You got the psychiatrist working with the cops to figure out what's going on. It could have been so much better. They didn't delve a whole lot into the cult. The cult wasn't really that creepy. They were just kind of like Mennonites. They weren't even like super satanic, like, I guess, or whatever. Like it just didn't seem that dark and evil, and there's a lot of missed opportunities with this series. It started off first couple episodes. I'm like, okay, I'm into this. This is kind of dark. This is screwed up, whatever. And then it just kind of turned into like a Lifetime Channel movie, like a CW teenager flick with a little bit of mentionings of Satanism. So it turned out to not be what I thought it was going to be. But overall, I would say out of 1 to 10, I would say I'd probably give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10. Maybe a 7 out of 10 on pure entertainment. So, alright guys, that's about it. That is my thoughts and bullshit on Devil in Ohio. If you haven't seen it, go check it out on Netflix, see what you think. If you have seen it, go down in the comments below, let me know what you thought about it, if you liked it or not, and peace out. Have a good day. Bye-bye.